introduce it, just, talk about what we have going on.
When I left at 4:30 today,
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mark Pepple, Nathan Van Horn,
Present.
Devin Keener,
Present.
Madeline Sade Bartle, present.
All right. Meeting minutes for executive session August 6th, as well as regular council meeting for August 6th. Any discussion, any changes, additions?
Make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes for the executive session on August 6th and the meeting minutes for, they were both the
Yeah,
6th,
yeah, both.
August
August
6th as well.
All right, I'll second. I have a motion and a second to approve the meeting minutes for August 6th for both the executive session as well as the regular meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. There it is. All right, at this time, we will open up for public comments. If anybody has anything, please state your name and address and feel free to speak.
I got a couple things. Kayla Grant. Just first off, there are a decent amount of Busco businesses that got nominated and made it into the final round of voting for Fort Wayne Reader's Choice Awards. So if you feel so inclined to go support those businesses and give them a vote and try to help them place in the top 3, maybe first place even, there's some links on Facebook in the various Busco groups. So feel free to check that out. Or you can just Google Fort Wayne Reader's Choice Awards and it'll come up. Second thing, I just was wondering about townwide garage sale, if that's happening as usual or if it's not happening as usual. I've been seeing some people starting to ask on Facebook if that's going to be happening, and I didn't know Clerk Treasurer's Office was going to be putting together the list and advertising as normal, or if we needed to find someone else to do that.
Yes, I spoke with Natalie on that, and last we talked about we're going to be posting up on the Facebook page as well as the website. Probably won't look quite as normal as in the past, at least for this year. Like we might not have like a real detailed map, but we'll definitely like promote the, hey, we're having a townwide garage sale this week, just so everybody can kind of jump on.
Okay.
And then we had thought to maybe like have people throw in the comments where they're doing it. So that'd kind of be the map type of a thing. So
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. And are we still looking at last weekend in September? Do we
I
know?
believe so. Yeah. Yep. So.
Oh, yeah, Halloween Fest? Oh, okay. Halloween Fest too? They're asking about that. Yeah, so people are having questions.
I don't know about that yet. I haven't talked to her about that, so yeah. I'm not-
Natalie's not doing Halloween Fest.
Yeah.
She already said that.
Yeah, so, yeah, as far as from our end, I don't think we will be putting that on this year.
That's all.
Thank you. All right. Moving on to new business. First up is the wastewater project A pay app number 30.
Yes, thank you. So Hardy Crosby for the wastewater plant has submitted pay application number 30 in the amount of $307,233.94. So they'd be looking for a motion to approve that.
Make a motion, we approve pay app number 30 in the amount of $307,233.94.
A second. We have a motion and a second to approve wastewater project A pay app number 30. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And then as a follow-up to that, they're seeking approval for change order number 9, the amount of $54,786. That includes everything that they've talked about as far as the SCADA, the valves, the water, and the hatch. So,
Are we signing, sorry, we'll look back on this, am I signing
Yep.
2 of these?
yes,
Is it one for us? And
one
for you?
for us.
All right, I'll make a motion, to approve wastewater project today, change order number 9, the amount of $54,786.00.
No second?
A motion and a second, for the approval of, change order number 9. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And then just as an update, substantial completion is still the end of August. That's still on schedule, everything but the fine screen replacement. But final completion will still be in January,
Okay.
so.
Next up, water project, supplement number 1.
Yes, so what we've got there is a supplement for our engineering. When we originally signed that contract, that was just for planning and preliminary. So we've included, all that money has been allocated within the bond. It's actually a little less for our supplement.
Yeah.
So it's just cleaning up the paperwork,
Mhm.
basically. So motion to approve our supplement for that.
Sounds good there.
Make a motion to approve the DLZ supplement number 1.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second to approve DLZ supplement number 1. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Alrighty.
And then, just as an update, street project, they got the water main completed on Weston today. Getting tie over, they're gonna start on Storm. And then, as far as the north water main project, we held pre-con today. And they are pending starting sometime in September. for That one, so.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Things are running pretty smoothly then on both ends and everything.
Yep, so far so good. Any other questions, additions?
Or were we still, I know, I believe Casey had mentioned, I'd reach out to him about, the retainage nail that we have there south of town. Still
Yes.
shoot for maybe sometime in the fall, just with the grass being, growing better. Is that still the plan
Yes,
there?
we're still holding $10,000 in retainage for API to come back and touch that up
Okay.
once the temperatures start to cool off a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, September timeframe.
Okay.
So,
All right, yeah, that's all I have. Do you have any questions, Evan?
I don't. Thank you very much for coming.
All right,
great.
appreciate it. You know, files
This
this.
is the pile of just yours, I believe.
I was just gonna collect everything at the end.
So this one, you just need your signature. This one.
else?
No, sir, it's all good.
We're good to go?
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you all
much.
very much.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, next up, the public safety presentation discussion.
What about number 4?
I think we're gonna table that just because I'm getting here.
You don't want to introduce it tonight?
Yeah, we can discuss it. I'm gonna introduce it.
Because if you table it tonight and then one of you guys isn't at the
Oh, I
next
see.
meeting,
Okay,
then you're
okay.
gonna have to table it again.
Okay, yep, that makes sense. Yeah, so, number 4 here, we're on, change the salary ordinance, number 2025-07. That was, had discussions with Natalie Blessing, in the absence of, having a chief of staff, just for her to take on some extra roles, in the meantime, kind of like Jeremy is doing on the side of things, out in the
That-
field.
Just a second. 2025-07 is not the right number.
Okay.
So, I believe it should be 12. Just,
None of that on here. 2025 dash.
12.
Okay. And so just temporarily adjusting her pay for the additional responsibilities. Those responsibilities be serve as point of contact between other government offices and staff, perform administrative duties, serve as point of contact for various town applications, assist in town organizational matters, and assist to resolve customer complaints. So it's just kind of help facilitate some of those responsibilities. And so do I say in this then too, as far as what the
How much?
rate
Yeah.
would be? Rate would be $32.15 an hour. Any discussion on that? Any questions? Any?
I guess, one of the reservations I have is, I feel like she's already being paid well for being in the office. I mean, there can be some additional work, but, I would like to recommend that we, keep track of those hours maybe, and pay her that way instead of raising her overall rate.
Right here, I think, I don't know exactly what it looks like, what she does. I mean, I feel like that'd be kind of hard for her to, be able to sit there and track everything for what she's doing, for which role. I mean, I feel like, there was definitely quite a bit that, as far as, things that were being done, that's, no longer being able to. And so I feel like for a short term fix, this would definitely help that. But I see your stance also on it. I
Well,
mean, I guess, if we don't do this, then what would you recommend, or what are we gonna do to fill that for the time being?
well, like I said, we can, if there are additional hours in which she's working in addition to what she's already making, then I see that as, Madeline had to keep track of her 2 different jobs for years, as far as what she was working for this job, what she was working for that job. So I feel like if she's wanting to make it an additional stipend and she's willing to take care of that, we compensate her for those hours, not in addition to all of the other hours that she's doing.
So are we able to, if we introduce this, are we able to make any changes to it, or would we have to follow basically we'd have to set what the rate would be and all that kind of stuff? I mean,
I would table it then, at least for the time being, if that's your plan on making substantial changes later on, I'd probably table it.
yeah, I guess if you're not feeling okay with passing like this, then that's what to do.
And I think overall, I mean, one of the big things, and the reason I'm coming to this is one of the requests of when we had our big meeting and they were talking about being fiscally responsible. I feel like we jumped the gun with how Jeremy's being paid for his additional duties as well. So I would really like to see us kind of come up with an ordinance how that's going to happen, because this could happen at any point in time. And I feel like we're overextending a little bit with how things are being paid for what's being done.
All right. All right, we'll table that then. All right, moving on to number 5, public safety presentation discussion.
All right, the public safety presentation kind of came to light after I had a discussion with Brandon Rittenhouse, who was recently employed by EMA as being the associate director, deputy director. I apologize for the misnomer there. So it kind of came together through a discussion. And one of my things is I feel like we have a lot of good things going on in the community that aren't being talked about. Our first responders, our firefighters, police, EMS, I don't feel like they're being recognized nearly enough. I also feel that we're not maybe necessarily doing a great job in relaying exactly what each department happens to be doing. So what we decided to do was have a public safety meeting tonight with a Q&A from the audience members as needed. But Brandon wasn't able to join us tonight, so Ed Scott, the director, will be presenting in his place. But we're going to go ahead and hear from Nick Casey first from the EMS, and then we'll hear from Kyle Baer, the fire chief, and last but not least, Dustin Brock from our departments, and then Ed will speak to kind of tie up any loose ends. So if you go ahead and come forward, thank you very much. Appreciate all of you coming.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to post some quick notes on my phone just to chat about a little bit. So I'm Nick Casey. I am the supervisor for Parkview Whitley EMS. I've been with Whitley since 2013. I came up here. I worked for years in the Indy and Johnson County area, which is just south of Indy. Before that, I ended up meeting my wife out here. So I ended up moving out to Whitley County, became a resident. Loved it since then. It's a great place. But just to talk a little bit about what we do, we are the EMS service for the area, of course. So I think most people have a pretty, at least basic understanding that we respond to accidents or illnesses when somebody activates 911. We work together with police and fire, of course, at those scenes to assist us in some way or another, usually, and play a big role in that too for us, helping us out. So just a little bit about our department. We currently run 3 ambulances 24/7. We also have an additional 4th truck that runs 12 hours a day from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Those are what we found our kind of high volume times are. So having that extra truck on helps us make sure that we can respond in a timely manner to anything that comes in. We keep a truck here at Churubusco Fire Department. We have a truck in Columbia City at the hospital. We have a station there. And then in South Whitley, the PPG building, the Parkview Physicians Group, doctor's office out there. They had part of the building that used to house X-ray and diagnostic imaging. They let us have that because they moved out. So we got a little area over there to keep our truck and our crew. We do around 5,500 runs a year, give or take a couple hundred, depending on the year. Last year we hit 5,210. Most of our calls come from Columbia Township, but Smith Township is our second busiest township that we have in the county, followed by Cleveland. I mean, it makes sense, those are kind of our population areas, right? So that's how we usually see it. We respond to just anything people call us for, right? A lot of falls. That's probably our number one run. We do a lot of sick people, which is kind of like a general illness people will call for. Traffic accidents, breathing problems, chest pain, unconscious people, traumatic injuries, which is everything, of course, from a motor vehicle accident to, you know, if you get cut when you're fixing your mower or something like that. Seizures, abdominal pain, those are our most common runs when we look at our run data for what we respond to in Whitley County, at least. We're able to do quite a bit in the back of a truck. I think that's one thing that most people don't understand fully is the capabilities that we have. We run a service that has paramedics, advanced EMTs, and basic EMTs on our trucks. And we are able to do a lot of what they do, at least initially, in emergency rooms for a lot of different runs. We can do narcotic medicine for pain treatment. We can do pretty much the full gamut for somebody whose heart stops. We can insert breathing tubes. We have a bevy of medications we can give for a whole lot of different reasons. So that's one thing I think people don't understand, the depth of what we can actually accomplish on an ambulance. I think our manager likes to refer to it as like a mobile ER room. Obviously, we don't have a doctor in the back, but everyone in EMS is our education and training is very focused on acute emergencies and the things that we deal with. So because we have a more focused beam kind of that we deal with, we have a little more depth in that area than some other medical training ends up being. We also help out. One of the things we do is help out with education. So we do assist with the basic EMT classes. Kathy Shiley teaches one in Busco Fire Department pretty regularly. We also put on an advanced EMT class. It's something we're trying to make sure we do regularly. I think we help out with the EMR class. We did one. Did we do one this year?
Was it coming in the winter?
Is it? Okay, yeah. And those are great. It just helps. It's an opportunity for anybody to come in, get that education if they want it to be a career, if they want to volunteer at the fire department, anything like that. It's a good thing to do. We also, Parkview has a program that they assist in covering the cost of your education to get your paramedic licensure. So that's a really nice thing for our people to come through. On top of that, we do a lot of additional training just in terms of on-duty training or classes and courses, just to kind of help keep it pretty up to date on the ever-changing world of medicine. We also end up helping out with posting of events. We try to provide coverage. If we can dedicate a crew, we'll dedicate a crew, but at the very minimum for big events like Turtle Days, we'll try to at least have the ambulances when they're on duty posting at the event. To make sure that we have a presence there just in case we're needed. Turtle Days, though, we do have a dedicated crew to at least part of the time. I know we had some new events that you guys had asked for a little more presence at, so we made sure we had that for you. I guess what I'll finish on is just if you're ever unsure if you should call 911 for an ambulance, I would say call. I think if you have that question in your mind, you're probably in a situation where you need assistance of some type medically, right, for an accident or an illness. And that's what we're here for. We're here to respond to any event, and not only can we provide care at the scene and wherever you're at to start your treatment, we can start diagnostic attempts early on too. We have cardiac monitors that let us take basically a picture more or less of the electrical part of the heart, so we can see if anything is flowing incorrectly on the electrical side of your heart. That kind of clues us into some things going on. That plus a few other things in our trainings of just going through our early focused assessment on people can help us figure out, are you good to go, over to Parkview Whitley, which is pretty good to treat most medical things, most minor injuries they can take care of without any issue, or do you have something more going on? You need, a cath lab because you're having a true heart attack, or is it bad enough trauma that you need to go see, one of the big hospitals in Fort Wayne where they have the trauma surgeons on call. I think that those things are very helpful. It's one of the reasons I would say don't hesitate to call, because we can start that whole process early and try to get a field diagnosis is what we call it. We don't have obviously the full suite of equipment they have in a hospital with all the scanners and lab machines and all that. So, but we can at least figure out where you need to go, get you there quicker, and we can take you straight into the ER, give a report of what we found straight to the doctor, or at least to the nurse there that's going to take over care from us, and kind of speed up that whole process. In addition to doing some things on the way that can either start treatment for what's going on or ease the continuation of care when you arrive at that facility. But I would say, don't hesitate. If you, like I said, if you feel like you have that question, I think I should call 911? Call 911. You'll never find a crew that shows up that says, why'd you call us? We're always going to say, I'd rather you call and not need us than need us and not call, because we have those situations where, everybody who's worked at EMS, Kyle and Tara back there, they both have worked for us. You guys know, fire and police, you guys see it too. People hesitate to call sometimes for 2-3 days, and by the time they get us out there, they're real far behind, real sick. I'd rather you get us out there early. We can start getting you treated, get you into the hospital, get you fixed up, avoid the deeper end of that illness or that injury, whatever it might be. So I don't know if you guys have any questions about anything I can tell you about.
Thank you guys for what you do.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Seriously.
We're just glad to help. We like to be useful. I don't know. So, well, thank you guys for giving me the
appreciate
time.
it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Mr. Beck?
I'm Kyle, the fire chief. I joined the fire department in Churubusco when I was 18, so I've been there for 11 years now. This is my 3rd year as fire chief. Prior to that, I was assistant chief for a year, captain, and lieutenant. So actually, I volunteer here on my days off from my full-time job, actually. And so yes, we're an all-volunteer department. I feel like our guys take a lot of pride in being all volunteer. We have currently 32 active members. 4 of which are going through their fire academy classes that just started a couple weeks ago. So yeah, every member is certified firefighter. We have 15 certified emergency medical technicians, EMTs. So basically the same job as what Nick was just doing up here. We have another 10 members that are certified emergency medical responders. So out of 32 members on our department, 25 as of right now are certified to go on EMS calls and assist you if you call 911 for a medical emergency. So the type of calls we go on, I would say, and Jim could probably agree, 50 years ago, the fire department just went on fires. That was it. Now we are responsible for not only fires, but hazmat calls. We get called up to the Ag Plus quite a bit in the springtime for anhydrous ammonia tanks leaking, or if there's a large spill of something, we have to go, and that's where Ed comes into play. Obviously, we want any priority 1 EMS assist. We respond with EMS. And with that, since we have so many EMTs, we are now BLS non-transport, basic life support. So if we get there before the ambulance, and if you're having anaphylactic allergic reaction, we can give you epi. We can give you breathing treatments. We can give you CPAP. We can give you more advanced airways to help you breathe if needed. So our department's taken that extra step to do such things. Within the last few years, we've worked with the police department. We have close to 20 members that are able to go in case there's an active shooter in our town. Rescue task force is what they call it. So we have 20 of our members that can do that stuff. Then this last winter, we've always been into ice water rescue, but some of our members took another step, and we now have 22 members that are certified in ice water rescue. So if you fall through the ice while ice fishing, or if you drive through high water, they're going to send us, we're going to put the wetsuits on, we're going to get our banana boat out, and we're going to get you out of your car and take you to dry ground. So those are the services we offer. Call-wise, we're probably, as of this morning, I just did paperwork, we're at 348 calls for service so far this year. Someone's called 911.
348, you said?
348.
Thanks.
So not only do we provide coverage for Smith Township and Churubusco, we are primarily ran through Smith Township. We report to Mark Gatton, Township Trustee. And but we're also contracted to cover the southern half of Green Township in Noble County and the western half of Eel River Township in Allen County. So with that, we run into 3 different counties, and we also provide a lot of mutual aid to other communities. There's mutual aid agreements amongst fire departments that if they call for help, we have to respond and help them, because if we have something happen back here and our fire department needs help, we can rely on them. That's how we trade back and forth quite a bit. However, rest assured, if we do go help another community, we never leave our town uncovered. We leave a crew back here with a couple of trucks in case something does happen. And if something does happen, our crew helping that neighboring department, they're coming back here. So that's how we work. Outside of that, we've gotten more serious about community outreach. We started doing some first aid classes. I think the first one we did was at the Catholic Church here in town. Fire Prevention Month is coming up in October. We're getting stuff scheduled at the preschool and even at the high school potentially, or not the high school, elementary school potentially. You'll probably see a couple guys back at the football game tomorrow night sitting with our rescue truck and a med bag, just hanging out. And then to be a volunteer for us is every Tuesday night, there's some kind of training or work night or meeting night. That's how we've always kind of worked. So big news coming for us. We're pretty excited. For the first time since 2008, we're getting a brand new fire truck in a couple of weeks that we saved up for, and we're able to purchase it without increasing tax dollars. So, yep, we got that stuff going on. But any questions for us for the fire department?
I have a comment I'd like to make. Legitimately, Smith Township Fire is one of the best fire departments I've ever worked with. And I work with a lot, that's including professional and volunteer departments both that I've worked with. You guys are an awesome fire department. And the steps you've taken over the last few years, especially getting your medical stuff, has been really awesome. You guys are great to work with. And
I would like to add,
I
would like to add and kind of brag about the guys that are in the numbers this morning, and I keep track of this stuff because I'm a numbers guy. With us being volunteer, we're responding from home or work to drive to the station, get our gear on, get crewed up, and get out the door on a truck. Our average time from the time we're dispatched to the time a truck calls en route is 3 minutes and 53 seconds. That's usually with 4 or 5 guys on that truck. So we're pretty quick. So
That's great. I appreciate it.
Yep.
You guys don't get the credit and thanks, you know, you deserve it, so appreciate it.
I'm an open book, so if anybody ever has questions, you can call the fire station, leave me a message, and I'll call you back. So, okay?
I would add something to note, of a small community like this, it's not uncommon that person that's on the other end of the phone is someone they knew and grew up with. They could be in a situation like Nick spoke of that was, maybe they didn't know what to do, so they called 911, or worse. Sitting with Jim, one person away from me, he can probably tell you the times people that he's known passed away, people he's grown up with. And that's something in a small community you don't think about, but these are the people that Kyle's and collect a paycheck for it. The other fire department members. Whereas Nick and his crews, they might come from different areas, they might not know the people. That doesn't mean that their service is any less valuable or their care is any less, but that's just something to note that in a small town, your volunteer fire department could literally be someone that teaches your English class. And now you see them in a whole different world. On their very way to them. And that, that sticks with them. And then Nick, I texted him when he was standing up there. Another thing, the ambulance and the fire department, they can respond to, emotional emergencies. We see that more and more these days. Emotional, psychological. The officers also respond depending on what the details that come in, and some of them are trained, right? And de-escalation and CIT. It depends what department you work with, but again, those are just some of the. Everyone thinks lights and sirens. It's either a fire or someone that's really seriously hurt. Sometimes it's the emotional portion that they also have to deal with. So, anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Dustin?
I think everyone knows me in this room, at least. I'm Dustin Pembroke. I'm in charge of the police department in Churubusco. Work alongside these guys. Known Ed, I think since I started the county. Nick, same time. We kind of came into the county at the same time, working. And then Kyle and his whole family that have been part of the fire department forever. I think along those lines, everyone knows, we run traffic, we write tickets that no one likes. We have to take people to jail sometimes, and they don't like that either. But beyond that, right, in a small community, the big thing that you do get out of a small department is us coming out for something that in a big city or someone that's even in the county when they're busy, right? They can't spend as much time with you on a civil matter, helping retrieve clothes from somewhere in a situation, just talking to community members. Me and Lisa sat out back and talked for eons about just different things in the community, Rotary and Chamber, and what's going on with how the events are. Being the police department, we help well with all of the events that we have in town, whether it's Halloween Fest or Turtle Days, making sure that we try to keep it as safe as we can with the budget we have and the manpower we have. We're fortunate to be in this county, and we have people like Ed and Brandon with great resources, and we have a drone program, and we have the community that will step up and help. I know we've had several people in here, and a couple of ladies in the back just said, I was going to paint the police department. They stepped up and said, hey, we can get, end up getting Gary to be able to take care of that, his meticulous ways. He got that handled. But just day in and day out, it's not, we don't have all the calls of service of Fort Wayne City, clearly, right? But that's a good thing for our community not to. But we're out there, whether it's a VIN check, whether it's a lockout, it's a free service that we give. I'm back at the school. I sit on their safety committee. They reach out to me and ask me when they're going to change some policies or what program they should go to, how their lockout should be or their lockdown drills. Just little things that I think day in and day out that people don't know. Obviously, why I'm in this garb today, Mr. Horn pointed it out. I'm not in uniform. I do all the training for the Wesco officers. I assist with the county so that they'll assist us and give the training that I can't give back to the county. Ed puts on some good trainings, always gets it out to our guys. All these guys, I feel like we're sometimes an on-call dispatch center for these guys, right? We're usually there first. We got all volunteer fire department. They've got to go from wherever they're at, whether it's home or work or whatnot, go get their trucks and then respond out. But if we can give them a little more information, then they're better suited. Same thing for EMS. We want to make sure that the scene's safe for them because they don't have all the tools we have. They have tools to save your life and keep you running. But if it's a dangerous situation, they don't want to be sending their people into it. And then Ed, they kind of bring everything else together, right? On our bigger spills, and they kind of take that scene as a 30,000 foot view. So I didn't pull numbers. There's a lot of things that wouldn't represent for what we do. We assist the county, Allen County, Noble County, Whitley County, even sometimes Columbia City, just depending on what the call is. I'm glad to be part of this group in Whitley County. I didn't start here, but I'm glad that I made the switch and came back. I spent 4 years at Whitley County, and that's where I kind of got to know Nick, and then switched over. In 2016, I came to Churubusco, which I never thought I would ever do. First getting back into law enforcement, just because I didn't want to police my own community where I live. Grew up here my whole life, and I love it here. There's been some hard things, just like whether you see someone hurt or you have to take someone to jail that you've known all your life, just kind of things that come with it. And I think every guy on the department has that same feeling, right? It's not always the most fun for us to do. But when there's concerns that get drawn up and we have to stop someone and they've done something that you're going to write a ticket for, they get a ticket, right? It's not always the most fun. And please don't think that we enjoy that. Just as you can imagine if you were putting in that situation. But that's what the community wants. And sometimes we're called to do a job that a lot of other people don't want to do. Anyone have any questions?
Just to support part of what you said, you guys are doing in your squad cars,
Yes.
right? So I will say that many of the first APDs, which are the automatic external defibrillators, I think most people are pretty familiar with them. Something that we look at on the medical side of things when someone's heart stops, the two most important things are high quality chest compressions and early defibrillation. And I will say that police officers are very often not only the first AED on scene, but the first to get on scene and take over doing compressions. They're trained to do it, and that makes a huge difference in the outcome of those patients and giving them the best chance that they get to have. So, helps out a lot.
Thank you.
I'm extremely lucky to have all of you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Dustin. Appreciate it. Ed?
Well, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Edward Scott. I am the Director of Whitley County Emergency Management. And as said earlier, a little bit about myself. I moved to the community back in 2007. 2008, I joined emergency management as a volunteer and have been there since. I joined the fire service in 2009, did that for 12 years. In fact, I became an EMT here in Churubusco, thanks to the great courses that they were putting on. I was hired as a deputy director in 2017, was there for a couple years, left for a little bit, and went and played dispatch for almost 5 years, and then came back to the deputy director spot back in 2023. Our director, who had been here the last 10 years, retired in April, at which point I was appointed as director. And then in June, we hired Brandon Rittenhouse as the deputy director. As most of you know him, unfortunately, he is in training, so he's traveling back from that tonight, and traffic has not been in his favor. Emergency management is in theory, or in the grand scheme of things, is responsible for the planning, preparing, responding, mitigation, and recovery from disasters, whether they are natural, man-made, or technological. A lot of that comes down to also making sure we have the resources for our first responders when they're out on calls. Most of the time when we're seen in the public, it's on that response side of things, but that is only 5% of what we do. 90% of it's going to meetings, writing plans, updating plans, ensuring that we're finding funding for projects that some communities may not have, collaborating between the different disciplines, ensuring that the fire department can talk to and play with the EMS at the same time. Law enforcement want to make sure that they get the trainings they need. As brought up earlier, is we try to make sure we have different trainings. That may not be the common ones that are always going on, but something that need. I actually just looked at putting on one this winter to help them understand their communication a little bit better. How do they talk together when they come together and we have a larger incident? We make sure that when they try to go out and do stuff like the rescue task force, help them find ways to improve everything they do on a daily basis. And so most of what we do is in the background. We're not seen, we're not the ones out. But you will see us. Recently we were here, the last storm to come through that impacted the ice cream shop. We were here looking at that, and somebody asked, well, why are you doing that? Well, while we try to understand how storms impact the community, that is data tracking. So in the future, we can come back and say, on these dates, we had this impact to this community, and this is why we need whatever we're going after. So a lot of what we do is making sure we're doing historical data collection for future grant writing or future changes that may be coming. And then at the local level, we try to make sure whatever could be needed outside of what they have. So if, whether it's a fire department, EMS, police, or even a community, we just put out recently for wastewater and water treatment facilities, some training for them. What happens in a mental disaster? If you need something that you don't have, we can get through, whether it's regionally, federally, or state, the resources to the community so that way they can meet. And hopefully we don't have to deal with it, but if a large disaster like a large tornado or something like that happens, we bring in the resources to help the community back to the new normal. You should never say no back to normal, because it will never go back to normal. go back to the new normal. Any questions? Well, thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all of you for coming in to speak this evening. We can if you want to.
I appreciate it too, and it's just cool to see like all the, like the collaboration, with everybody. It's definitely, you can kind of see how it just takes everybody and how it's just cool you guys have each other's backs, and it definitely, makes everything go a lot smoother and helps people out, so I appreciate it. And just your guys' hearts for people and for the community definitely shines through you guys, so thank you very much. So kind of along the same lines of safety, I think it was about a month ago or so, a couple meetings ago, resident just voiced concern with just the speeding through town, and wanted us to discuss and kind of look at potentially lowering speed limits, maybe putting up some more three-way, four-way stops. So I think we should kind of have some discussion. I know I've been in contact with Jeremy and Dustin on what that would look like, and just kind of got their opinions, concerns on it. And do you have anything on that, or do you have any more thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think it's tricky on both ways, right? Obviously, the most paramount thing is safety for everyone in the community. But you also you're going to have backlash, or what you may, an opposing side to everything, any decision you make.
Right.
I guess it's lowering the speed limit, on some of these long stretch roads, would probably be what I align with, what I think would be best case scenario. Similar to things what we talked about, you lower it and then we're able to run radar on it. And obviously we have to give some grace. We give a lot of grace in town. I kind of pride myself, and the guys I believe align with me, that we try to give grace to our community members and let them, we had a new stop sign at Klinger Miller Line, and there's people that have drove that for 60 years, right? And they just weren't used to it, even though we put the signs up and put the lights up. And you're going to have change, so you're going to have to work with the community as well. But I think it's good that you're putting it out to everyone, so everyone can see and everyone can come to you and voice their concerns about it. But obviously any reduction in speed, we're going to slow down people so that they can react to anything that would pop up in the roadway a little bit easier. And I think ultimately, once we make the decision, then we can go from there. I think the alternative to having another three-way there could potentially just be that driveway we talked about, being in the middle of it. We need to clarify with the attorneys on something along, just verifying with the street department. Jeremy didn't seem to believe that there was any issues with that.
Yeah, I reached out to him too, and he sent I thought an update on it. Yeah.
But I don't know of any. I'm sure there's one somewhere, but I couldn't find of any that have a driveway in the middle of an intersection. Because, in the county, they don't do that, right? It's usually offset.
Right.
I would say the closest one, it's very close, but if you go out Line Street Extended all the way to 900 East and you go to T, you have Brady's.
Right in front of it, yeah.
It's pretty close to that intersection.
One question, you've been doing radar online, haven't you? What do you know off the top of your head what the highest you guys have done? Clocked somebody at?
I just ran it for 2 hours yesterday in the 20-mile-an-hour zone, and the highest I had was 27.
Do you know of any higher? Or I'm just curious if anybody's flying down there at
I think
50 miles an hour.
You're always going to get your anomaly, right? We always have an anomaly.
Right.
Zach Murphy had one, someone coming on Main Street, didn't get in pursuit with him, got him in Noble County, at like 55 on 33 at 1 in the morning. Those are obviously other contributing factors to that. But we don't see the mass, there's people always going 45 downtown. And like I say, I've always said it before, I think the biggest thing that people can do is reach out to me. I check my email literally every day. That's probably the best bet to get to me. Otherwise, you can call into dispatch or call into our number, which rings into dispatch, and they'll give me a message and they'll send me an email. But if you have a concern, don't hesitate. If you see an area that you have issues with, let me know. It doesn't have to be just speed. If you're having any, but if we don't know about it and we don't happen to see it at that time, right? People usually drive or act more appropriately when we're around, as soon as they see our cars. So reach out to me, let me know, and I'll get more patrol or have them run more traffic, and we'll try to get it corrected. I don't know, you live on a 20-mile-an-hour road, right? And I would say, you tell me when you have the most issues with people's speed.
When do I? After school and after events at the park. I mean, if the
So-
game was out at the park or something, I mean, they'll come flying.
So you get kids, so every year you're gonna get a new transition of 16-year-old drivers, right? We try to deal with them too, park out behind and make a couple stops, and it goes through the school like wildfire. And, it's a trick, to work with the community. A lot of times, I always say the best case scenario is to contact the parents. Half the time the kids just want the ticket and not to have to call mom and dad. So there's ways that we can work things and try to slow things down. The speed signs I think have been great. I set them on purpose, extremely low. I know the one's not ideal. We do have a begin, so it'll go over the top of that 30. But there's a lot more than just putting up a new pole and hanging it, because that's where all the utilities are. So I worked with Porker. Those guys are extremely busy every day. They're fortunate enough, at least Jeremy, to give them to me for half a day to help me put those up. But I think they're great. They're great tools, and we can utilize those. We're going to eventually, once they have time, help me build a trailer so it's a little bit more mobile. But we can keep looking into these things, right? And trying to slow people down. I don't see from day in and day out the enormity of the speeding, right? That a lot of people probably don't speed when they're on other streets in other towns or highways. The same, I would say it's very much along the lines of where we see everything else. Now, again, even like the red lights, we had issues with that. We ran the traffic, it starts getting word of mouth, and then they clean it up for a little bit, and then people always want to push it, right? You see the yellow light, and instead of hitting the brakes, they want to hit the gas to go through. So, yeah, I think there's just a lot to take in, and it's a decision that is weighed on either side. But I think, the long stretches are where you're going to get people to get more speed up. And it's just it's a training point, because like I've talked to Devin, I've talked to you on separate occasions, and you're coming off of 33. And so I think it's going to, if we go that route, say you do, I think it's one of those things where it needs to be a flashing sign, begin speed, new speed, right there by the PNC, to get people to realize, so they're coming off of, you come off there and you're going 30 miles an hour, you're going the speed limit, and as soon as you get through that intersection, you've got to get on the brakes to get to 20. So I just think it's, it's something that we want to make it apparent for especially people that are outsiders.
All right.
Have you thought about the automatic camera that takes a picture of the speeders?
Yeah, they have those.
Yeah.
And they write tickets too.
Yeah, they do.
It's a municipal ticket. It is, I know they're fairly relevant in Iowa for some reason. But there was some, and you could probably say more on this, there was some debate on whether that was the legality of it too. Because you're writing a ticket for the registered owner. So I think when it goes to fighting some of that, it can be a little bit of a gray area. I have talked to an officer that he runs that program out in Iowa, and he said that most people pay it.
Well, it takes a picture of the driver too.
Okay, theirs didn't have one of the driver, but
Yeah. Driver and license plate.
yeah, I can only imagine what this costs though. So to get your repayment on that, I mean, we know how much our signs cost, right? And that technology, you have to have those watch cameras.
All right. Yeah, I know ever since I've been on council, I mean, I've heard numerous, complaints on Line Street of people speeding, and I mean, we said, I mean, Mulberry, right? I feel like probably a lot of the street people could, say the same. I will say, I think though, that just that long stretch on Line Street just allows people to really get some speed.
And it's even shortened, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine Madeline, it's probably improved some living on the streets since we put it at least.
It has, yeah.
Because I'm sure most people kept it.
Yeah, because, well, like right when you go to Tully, that's when people just.
Well, in working county, I mean, my road is one of the better roads of county road, but being smooth, other than you get down close to my house and it's like where the ditch is, muck field or whatever, just breaks off. And that's a 45. And I mean, some people don't even know this, but a normal county road that's not marked is 55 mile an hour. So it's a racetrack too compared to most county roads. Just people don't want to beat their car up.
Well, they just repaved it a couple years ago. Now it's nice.
Oh,
Yours.
No, I mean, I'm just saying on other county roads, you can go 55 just because it just trashes your vehicle.
Do you have any thoughts on it, Devin?
No, I just appreciate the work that the guys have put in to go ahead and put up the signs and try to put a buffer in until we could get a decision made on an ordinance for a stop sign and what else.
And I'll get with Madeline as the year closes in, I know we have budget constraints, but if we can, maybe try to sweep one here or there every other year and get those more posted. I do think, the ability to set that speed limit low, it just gives people that maybe just getting off work or whatever, it kind of raises their awareness more.
Right.
I believe. And I drive that road all the time. You just recognize something that's digital instead of, you get lost in the shuffle of all the signs and everything that's going around you, right, when you're driving. So when something's new and we're able to move those around, I don't know how many of you community members have drove around, but it gets your attention, right? More than just a standard sign. You can put up a brand new sign that may look better, but if it's not the digital or something that reads, you just don't get the attention that those do. So I think it was a great purchase for sure.
Flashing stop signs.
Yeah.
You see more and more of those, and it draws your attention to it. You may daydream at home, watching time.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, I think the flashing signs are great.
All righty, I appreciate it very much, everybody. Nothing else with that, we'll move on to department reports. Jeremy sent these in.
I did look at some pretty good.
Yeah. All right, Riley, everything going good with the plant?
Everything's doing good. We've got all 3 clarifiers up and running now. We should be wrapping things up pretty soon.
That's great. Be nice to have all that all done and running 100%, huh?
Yeah.
Great.
You don't want to discuss what broke recently?
Yeah, you been sent, what? Sent an email
That's just
for.
maintenance on them.
Okay.
And then I just sent quotes to you guys just to see what you guys want to go with. Because with all those new generators, we have no idea what to work on those.
Gotcha. When when are you wanting to buy those, or when you just decision buy?
I just see what you
Or
guys
just something to think
it.
about?
We can talk about it then, just how much it would be for two different companies to do it. And we have a Cummins generator at the plant now, so I'd like to stick with Cummins, because all the warranties, they know everything about it.
The Weir. Jeremy sent me a text message about the Weir.
So our oxidation ditch is a rear gate that controls the flow and everything. It was supposed to be in the bid with Crosby doing the repair and stuff, but for them to touch it, it's going to make it worse. So they're not going to touch it and like do like a revamp on it. It's all rusted out. It's stainless steel, so you really can't do much in it. But to replace it, they're not going to do it, so we have to find another company to come in and do it. I have my first gen, my helpers are coming and tutoring me. They're getting quotes for me for someone to build the gate, another company to come in and install it. It's hazardous, so we have to get like suits and everything, bypass pumps, bypass the ditch over to my splitter box to keep the plant operational.
Okay.
So I don't know how much it's going to be. They're working on quotes for me, and I'll have to send it to you guys when we get them all in.
Okay. That's kind of something that
It's over the years.
Just gotta get done, yeah. All right, yeah, just let us know. And is that something when do you think they'll be giving you a quote on that?
Maybe 2 weeks, probably.
Okay.
Just, it's gonna be 60 to 80,000. And it's not in our project, so.
All right, thanks, Jim. Anything else, Mr. Pappenbrock?
School started. Somebody's going to go well. And got a meeting with the school and Ed about some training stuff that's going on. We're excited as far as to the town. And everything else, we've just been trying to hit the hot spots, and guys are doing great.
Good deal. Thanks, sir. Mr. Kreider, how's the park going?
Mr. Van Horn, my guys were running pretty well.
Good.
And had a couple community service workers help out back here, getting some paintwork done. Started to mulch the trail and getting some things done.
Good.
We always, this is a time of year now that we catch up from all the stuff that goes on in the summer with youth league and everything else. And this is a busy part of the year for us as far as updating stuff and that. So we're paying attention to ball diamonds and the trail and the people. And we try to meet people's concerns within reason, okay? Because we are the melting pot of the community. I think most people will understand that. And we're just trying to keep it going. So everything so far has run decent.
I felt like it was a great summer, great year. It seemed like a lot of nights, a lot of different ball games going on, a lot of usage of the pickleball court.
Splash Pad's running well. With that hot spell we had there since turtle days there, where it was in the 90s and the humidity was really high. It was a lot of people on that splash pad, which is good. And we are honoring the 10:30 to 8 o'clock venue, and which has worked out pretty well. Sometimes ball games at the tail end there and the tournaments were, I think I probably mentioned before, were after the ball games and stuff like that, kids wanted to get on there, might be 8:30, 8:45, I let them on, just for that part of it. Establishing the rapport of the community, that's very important to the park, us and that. So we can try to keep at it. Pickleball, out of sight back there, I mean to tell you, they're coming from a lot of different places to play up here. Our courts are some of the nicest in the area. So I know that I'm kind of looking forward to getting this sand volleyball court going, the family volleyball court, which will be back there toward the splash pad.
Okay.
And the pickleball area. So we're looking forward to that too.
Great.
Going to make a very nice volleyball area for the people. We'll still maintain this one up here, but that's just kind of a thing where a lot of kids hang around there when the ball games are going on. Moms are watching their other kids, and so they like to kind of play in the sand and beat the ball around. I did meet the new athletic director over here at the school. We hit it off pretty well. And they're, as people know, they're pretty landlocked over there, so they use the park for a lot of different things in here.
Yeah.
Science classes and stuff, physical education, girls varsity JV softball, boys and girls tennis. And so, yeah, we're, in fact, there is this year, flag football for girls.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that or not, but we have a game out here right now. We start at 6 o'clock. And so I gotta go watch my granddaughter play the second half. So, otherwise, things are going good. I appreciate the reports in here tonight. Didn't know about a few things, but I do know. So I really enjoy that people coming in here and making reports for the town. I thought there would be more people in here tonight, but who knows?
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate all you do for the town.
Can I ask a question for Mr. Kreider?
Yeah.
Do you plan on getting more of that black strip for the pickleball court? Because my balls keep flying on your fence.
I didn't hear that, man.
Those black stopper strips for the pickleball
Oh,
court?
yeah.
Are you guys planning to run some more like all down?
Yeah, Lisa and Leanne were taking care of that, and we have time now to do that. They'll purchase that, and we'll go ahead and put it in there. Balls will kind of go under the fence and stuff like that. So, yeah, we'll put those up there. As far as the windscreen goes, not sure yet. We'll take a look at it and see.
Perfect. And if the park is ever needing like volunteers, do you guys post somewhere about that? Or, if you need people to help do things around the park, or is that not?
Yeah, and we have a couple volunteers that come in there once in a while, along with the master gardeners, that do a fantastic job here in the park and the town. And so overall, yeah, if you want to help out back here, I'd be happy to let you know. We can kind of work things out or whatever you want to do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, everybody. Council reports. Devin?
Don't have anything else?
I just have a couple meetings, went to a couple solid waste board meetings last week. Tomorrow, a plan commission meeting, and then meeting with a couple members from the chamber on Monday. That's all I have.
It's BZA tomorrow, yeah.
BZA. Sorry.
Are you good?
Yep, that's all I have. Mark's not here. Madeline, anything from the treasury side?
So just letting you guys know, revenues between general, MVH, and park will be decreasing by at least $75,000 next year due to the impacts of Senate Enrolled Act 1 and updated local income tax calculation changes that were passed by the state legislature this year. Our liability insurance already has gone up by 11% this year, well, next year. And then I won't have health insurance numbers as to how much that's going to increase until October, which is after the fact that we have to have our budget approved. But I can tell you right now, it's not going to go down. So that's something else to take into consideration. Also, both electric and gas have increased rates. I don't know if you guys have seen that on the news, but both of them have had rate increases. So all these things are going to be, next year's budget is going to be tight, to say the least. So I just want to give you and department heads a heads up that it's going to be real, real tight, and it's going to be that way for the next few years.
All right, thank you. We've exhausted the agenda, so we stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming.